Banana Brats. Oh, that's right. Banana Brats.
Banana Brats.
That's what I'm going with this week.
It's a little unkind.
Is
you
it?
got on my case for peel or potasset chumps.
Well,
but now you're calling them brats.
But the thing is like brats like could be a cool like brand. Like remember the Bratz, like the dolls? I don't know.
Nice, John.
There's no way to spin this to make it good.
Oh, with a Z? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Brats?
Banana Brats with a Z.
Yes. So welcome into another episode of the Weekly Peel. I am John.
And I am Peter.
And we are Hosti. I realized that I think it was 2 weeks ago I tried to say like I tried to say the mall, like I just didn't want to say hosts, I wanted to say something different. So then I was thinking, and I said hostesses, but that's females. So then I was thinking, and I was like, what was I trying to say? And I realized it was hosti is the word I wanted to use. Multiple of host. It's not a real word, I don't think.
That's right.
But
that's real.
Yeah. Well, today we have a good friend of ourselves and also the good friend of the podcast, Justin Schuessler. How you doing?
Hey.
Friend of the Peel.
What's up, my friends? How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great.
This is your second time on the Peel.
So
our
happy
faithful
to be back.
listeners would remember you from the infamous funeral home episode.
Oh, yes. It was very
almost ended the Peel.
Yes.
Behind the scenes.
I don't know if we
controversy.
Almost ended.
You know what? Who cares? We can say. Yeah, we got contacted.
We cannot legally say.
We did get contacted before it dropped. Just like a reminder. Hey, guys, I'm not going to go into details, but we did get a text message. Actually, you didn't get a text message, Justin.
I did not. I was not
Peter,
included.
And another. There was just Peter, me, and a guy who was not involved at all.
Right. So I can say what I want because I wasn't threatened, so I can say whatever I want now.
He just started listing names. No. But so, all right. Well, Justin, it's so great to have you, to see your face on this lovely audio podcast. Although we do have video on YouTube.
Yes. Oh, yeah?
We were searching through just what would be a good topic for today. We were thinking about Funeral Home 2, but we think we kind of ran out of content a little bit. Maybe we'll do one in the future. Who knows?
Maybe.
We said to ourselves, what else does Justin know a lot about? Turns out,
not much.
Justin knows a lot. Justin knows a lot about aviation.
Yes.
He knows a lot about audio video lighting.
Yes.
He knows a lot about acting.
Yes, which actually, so you were going to be a funeral home director, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So you were in school for that, and then you that stopped. You worked in HR.
Yeah.
And then you started learning to fly.
Yep.
Like in a plane.
It didn't sound like you were saying to fly a plane. Just learn to fly.
I taught myself how to fly. I just grew wings. It was just
YouTube.
normal.
Man, you can learn anything.
YouTube right out the window in the mornings. So, and now, come to find out, now you were telling us about audio-visual you're doing and acting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
Bro, you are a well-versed man.
I am diversifying my portfolio, all right? That is what that is called. But yeah, no, I mean, I have a lot of things that I'm passionate about, but the two biggest things, unrelated to the Lord, obviously, is number one, but, the two biggest things are aviation and acting. Those are things that I've loved for years, stuff that I've been interested in. In high school, I was in all the school plays, even middle school. I'm telling you, man, I was in all that stuff. I played little Kurt Von Trapp in The Sound of Music in 6th grade.
Wait,
oh
did
yeah,
you really?
man.
Really?
Oh yeah, I totally did.
Okay, so I met you I guess, was it high school? Did we meet in high school?
Gosh, yeah, I was probably in
So
ninth.
I don't think I knew that.
No, I don't know. But
were you in, I don't think you were in any play when I met you.
I don't think so, but I was definitely in a play or two with your sister. I'm pretty sure. We.
Oh wait, were you in Princess Bride?
Oh yeah, man.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wow.
Who'd you play?
Dude.
Justin went to school with my sister at a private school.
Yeah, so I was just mainly a background character, I think, for that. I didn't really have a huge role. I'm trying to remember. It's been years ago. But yeah, no, I was definitely, I enjoyed that. That was maybe that was like the year after Sound of Music, I think. I think that was like when I was in like 7th grade. It was 7th or 8th grade for me. I did that. Yeah. But yeah, so you were probably there. You probably saw me up on stage, and you had no idea at the time.
I'm sure, yeah.
That's crazy, man. Yeah.
So I don't know if you're allowed to say what you just like acted in, or kind of acted. Did you? Acted.
So I don't think I can. I don't want to say too much about it because it hasn't been released yet, obviously.
Dude, notice he didn't say I can't. He said I don't want to.
Exactly. Well, the truth is, I don't know if I can.
You sound like an actor out of Spider-Man right now.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna channel my inner Tom Holland and spoil a bunch of stuff for you.
Justin's in Squid Game 2.
Yes,
yeah, guys,
exactly.
I'm not in.
Guys, no.
I'm not the werewolf.
So, honestly though, Squid Game 2, maybe I will. Maybe I'll go over to wherever that was, like Japan or Korea or something. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll go over there and just film that. Wow. No, so basically, I was in a Christmas film for next season. A Netflix Christmas film
2022.
Yes, exactly. And so it just wrapped just a couple weeks ago. It's a really great project. There's some cool people that are in it. I can probably tell you guys later. I can't say it publicly, but
it's fine. Nobody's listening.
So
hey, shut your face. Of course they.
Guys, don't disrespect your fans like that.
Wow.
But no,
They're brats.
You bunch of brats. Thank you for your support.
Oh yeah. Really cool project that I was in, and I'm hoping to do some more of that. That's something I've been passionate about, like I said, for a long time. Yeah. I tried to do the school plays in freaking elementary school, and I couldn't because I was too young. They wouldn't let me. But if I could have, I would have done them since I was freaking 6 years old or something. I really,
awesome.
No, it's definitely a passion of mine, and so I'm hoping to get more involved in that, and hopefully the next time I'm on with you guys, we can talk about some other projects that I've been a part of.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you're officially, I think you're officially our most famous guest.
Hey, all right, perfect, man. I love that.
And also, you're the most famous person in our films that we make.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, come on.
Because
that deserves its own episode right there.
Yeah, I know, which we are going to. Yeah, so if you don't know, we have we made films. I don't know what I was going to say.
We have a universe.
Yes, we have a universe. It's the CBCU, the Coen Brothers Cinematic Universe. If you don't know, it's on YouTube. Check it out. They're short films, mainly surrounding Josh Smith, who was on an episode, good friend of ours. And we made these short films. They're really nothing to speak about. They're pretty awful at times, but they're hilarious and they're great.
They are a wild ride.
Yes, and Justin plays a crazy man in it that we were actually supposed to do. We were supposed to make it. It's called Knighted Steve. You were going to be playing the character Steve, which there's a whole other backstory to that name. But and we never got around to it.
Well, there's still time, boys. There's still time.
Yeah, especially now.
We got a lot of life ahead of us.
Especially now that you're like an official actor.
Oh,
now
for sure.
We can exploit that.
Exactly. See, there you go. Use it for the views,
man. You can't afford me.
Exactly. My hourly rate is more than you make in a year. No, but
probably.
No, but man, I'm excited. We need to do that for sure. So then I can add that to my reel. Really get that'll give me a lead in some huge films, man.
Yes.
All I have to do is just submit that, man.
Dude, can you next time? Wait, do you have a reel?
I don't.
Or you're gonna build. You're gonna. Okay, well, you should make one, and you should put all the stuff from our movies in it.
Dude,
I think
send me
would
the
be
clips.
amazing.
Send me the clips.
Yeah.
I will put it in, man. I'm so serious.
Yes. I wish we had it right now that we could play it, because I think you basically just scream.
Oh yeah, it's
you
so
say
much fun.
3 lines and then you scream.
It's amazing.
It's so demented and so much fun. I love it.
Yes. Well, you know, in addition to making films together and everything, we're all friends through church, right? Through churches. We kind of went to the same church. We went to the same youth group for a while and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so what we wanted to do is, like, because you're a pastor's kid, Justin. Obviously, yep. You know, I'm a youth pastor. I've been in church my whole life. Peter works at a church as a media director. He's been in church his whole life. So we just wanted to come on and tell some funny church stories, because why not? You know, because sometimes there's just so many funny things that just go on, and it's such a big part of our lives. And, you know, I'm just thinking of, like, times right now, like, just looking back, like, we were all, speaking of filmmaking and church stories, we made, one time when we were in high school, we were all, this is terrible, we were all involved, us, Josh Smith, John Chevrolet, 2 guys that have been on the podcast before, a couple other students in our youth group. Actually, Justin, you weren't even a student at the time, you had just graduated.
No. Yeah, I came back for it, man.
So he had nothing to lose.
Yeah, he had nothing to lose, so we were dumb high schoolers, and we were student leaders and stuff, so we said, hey, Pastor Appreciation Month, if you don't know, that's in October, you know, is coming up, and we really want to make like a video, you know, to show at youth group. And the youth leaders were like, great, go for it. I don't know if our youth pastor knew, but they trusted us, and that was mistake number 1.
Yep.
And we ended up making a very how do you describe it?
Twisted
video.
Twisted, wrong,
man.
Sick.
Of what our youth group would be like if our youth pastors left. But we made it like a communist country, and like it was just horrifying to see, like, students' faces, like we're loving it. Like, this is amazing. We're looking around and everyone's just in shock. And there was, like, new students there that night, and as soon as it finished, one of the youth leaders got up and said, we had no idea that was going to be played. And that's when we knew we messed up.
Nobody else was laughing. At certain points in this video, there was, like, a dictator figure.
Yes.
John was being tied to a pole and whipped.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds worse even now.
Eating charcoal.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it was really
so bad.
It was sick.
But
it was a horror film.
We didn't know any better. Like, we would make jokes about this kind of stuff, like, all the time. But we actually like manifested it into a video, and, like, nobody was around to tell us that it, like, wasn't okay until it had already been played. But yeah, the worst part of it looking back is that they, like, trusted us enough to, like, play this video without having watched it, because they were, like, going to watch it ahead of time. Yeah. And we were like, no, that'll ruin it. Like, we want to see your reaction with everybody else. And they were like, okay,
yeah, no big deal.
They regretted it big time.
They're like, oh, you good little church boys. You won't do anything wrong.
And I think that every year around that date, they all still have PTSD, you know, just...
Yep.
So, gentlemen, I know I talked to you all about coming with some stories and being prepared. What do you guys got? I know you all have some hilarious church stories.
I would like to say that my first story has already been taken.
Wait, no, is that it?
That was the one that I thought of. But so I'll kick us off with not something that happened to me per se, but just in the vein of, like, Christianity. There's a viral video. I don't know what you consider viral anymore, but it has like 5 million views or something. Of a pastor, and he's preaching. You guys have probably seen this video. He's telling a story about a time of ministry that he had.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
So he says, and I'm just quoting the video here, so I wrote it down.
Oh no.
This pastor's talking about this kid that was he was youth pastor at the time. And he said, Ben was a nice kid, but he was a smart aleck. And one day we were outside and he was trying to push my buttons and just not taking the Lord serious. And I walked over to him and I went, BAM! I punched him in the chest as hard as I just crumpled the kid. I just crumpled him. This is all in the video. Dude. And I leaned over and said, Ben, when are you going to stop playing games with God? I led that man to the Lord right there.
Yes!
This is one of my favorite church videos. Like, what a testimony.
Bro,
Won't he do it?
Dude, that is amazing. I've heard that before. It always reminds me of like Smith Wigglesworth. Do you guys know anything about him?
Oh
No.
my gosh, that
So
dude was
he's like
wild.
an evangelist. Yeah, he's like an evangelist. He was an evangelist, maybe like the 1800s or
Yeah, or like
something,
early
a long time
1900s
ago.
or something. Like, yeah, like it's been a while.
And like this dude like was like known to like there was a lot of healings at his like revival services and stuff, but like there was a dead baby at one of them, so he took it from the parents and he drop kicked it. And it came to life. Like he would do stuff like that. Like he would literally like he'd punch people or like kick them, and it would like.
He was like, "What the crap is going on?"
That's crazy.
Yeah, he led that kid to the Lord right then and there. I love.
Oh
that
my
story.
gosh, I'm pretty sure. I'm
Hallelujah.
pretty sure he came back out and said that was all a lie. But it's okay.
Wait, what?
I feel like that dude.
Did he really?
Not Smith Wigglesworth, the other guy. He like I'm pretty sure he recanted
Oh.
that.
What?
Really?
And was like, yeah, and because like I'm pretty sure he just said it because he
would.
wanted to sound cool. I mean, like, because people were freaking out. Like, even that video is old, but people recently, like, it resurfaced. And like people today, like Twitter went nuts, and they were like about to crucify this guy because they're like, "How you can't do that? That's abuse!" Like blah blah blah, like all this stuff. Which I mean, it is kind of ridiculous, and I don't even know if I fully believed it when I saw the video, but I was like, maybe this guy is that weird. Like maybe
the
he's
fact that he told this story like and didn't consider like this probably isn't okay.
Yeah, I know. It's like why like think,
Punched
man.
him square in the chest.
Yeah.
Just crumpled him.
Like could you imagine? Like imagine that kid's like heart stops. Like he punches him so hard that his heart stops. Like could you imagine? He'd be in jail for the rest of his life or something. So like either it did happen and the guy's really dumb, or it didn't happen and he's really weird for sharing that.
Wow.
For lying about it.
Either way, hopefully the kid actually did get saved.
True.
Yes.
And not just out of fear for his life.
Yeah. Ideally. Well, Justin, I would love if you could share something from your experience being a pastor's kid.
Yes.
But there's
man.
kind of the stereotypes of being a pastor's kid. You have the polar opposites. You have like the goody two shoes, and then you have like the one that like went off the rails. And
Which I think
I
you're
feel like you
Oh,
toed
yeah.
that line so perfectly, Justin.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
I
just
try.
right in the middle.
I really try. But no, it's true. I mean, there are so many. I know people on both sides of that spectrum. It's just it's difficult because when you grow up as a PK, you're expected to be perfect like all the time. Like you're held to a different standard than anybody else in the church is, and so that's why people either end up like embracing it fully and like, yes, I will be that perfect little lamb that everybody loves, or
Yes,
they
I am
end up
perfect.
like
Thanks for asking.
exactly.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I need that shirt. Or they will go the complete opposite way and be like, no, I can't hold up these standards. It's not okay that I'm held to these standards when no one else here is, and I need to just live my life. And they'll just go completely off the rails and just as far away from the Lord as they can possibly go. And it's really difficult. I mean, I feel like I do feel like I try to walk that line as best that I can without going too far in either direction. Occasionally I'll slip off, slip off the deep end. No, but I'll just like kind of, I'll kind of slide one way or the other a little too much, and then I'm like, oh nope, never mind, gotta correct that. But it's really easy, and like for me specifically, it was kind of easy for me to I kind of enjoyed the spotlight in a way when I was in church, and like I played drums all the way through the entire time that I lived in Maryland. I was playing drums every Sunday because we didn't have anyone else that could play, and so everybody would come up to me and they'd be like, oh, that sounded great, like whatever. And so I was just like, oh, this is cool, like I like this. I wasn't one of those people that was like, I don't want to be here, or like it was okay. And I certainly had my times where I was like, these people act horrible, and then I do one thing that's not even that bad, and they're like, crucify him, and I'm like, whoa, okay, it's just it's kind of ridiculous. And like, that there were times where like I set the lights a different way, and like the people would flip out. They're like, you can't do that. You can't have lights that move in our good Christian church. Like, and so like there were, times where like I'd get like run through the ringer, and they'd like, go to my dad, and they'd be like, you can't do this. What is this church turning into? This is a nightclub, not a church, and just like all this stuff. Yeah. And it was just crazy. And so then my dad would come to me and he'd be like, look, like everyone's complaining and just don't do that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, come on. It's just like the littlest of things. But then, people go out and do horrible things, and that doesn't matter to them because they don't hold themselves to that same standard a lot of times. But, it is what it is, and like some people don't embrace it as much as I did, and that's when it gets really sad, because like when you're a son or a daughter of a pastor, your dad a lot of times is not around as much as you might want them to be, your dad or mom, whoever is pastoring, especially if they're a lead pastor of a church that's not huge. If it's a smaller church, they have more responsibilities. They don't have all these people and other staff that they can delegate stuff to, and so they might miss out on certain things because there's a funeral in the church they have to do, there's a wedding they have to do, there's someone's in the hospital and they need to run immediately in the middle of the night or something, and get there before this person passes away. And so there's a lot of times where you feel like, your parent is kind of missing out on stuff, and that can kind of hurt, PKs, preachers' kids. It can kind of hurt them as well, because they're like, my dad or my mom has to take care of all these people, and it feels like they don't have time for me. And that can be an easy thing to fall into, because church people can be really demanding sometimes of the pastor, and they want them to kind of, not always, but some people want them to, just be there at their beck and call, just like at the drop of a hat, whatever it is, even if it's not a major thing, if they just want to complain about something in the church, like, you need to take my phone call right now. I don't care what time it is. I don't care if it's your day off, like whatever, and that can be really difficult for the pastor to try to set boundaries there, because they want to be of service to all these people and they want to help them out and things, but sometimes that can be taken advantage of, and then it hurts the family. And I think that's one of the reasons why people, PKs walk away sometimes, and why they, it leads them into a season of, doubting or questioning or running the other direction, because they're like, they see behind the scenes, stuff that happens in churches, and it can really hurt them. And I get that. I felt that way before. But it's just what a lot of people don't remember and they don't think about and they don't understand is that it's not, like, you don't go to church because of the people. You go to church because of the Lord. Like, He's the reason that you're there. So there's always going to be messed up people in churches. There's always going to be people that treat you poorly, that don't have the right attitude about stuff, but they're not the reason why you're there, and so that's just, but it's easy to lose sight of that, when you feel like everyone's against you, or, people aren't treating you the way you deserve to be treated,
Yeah, no, it's a real problem.
Yeah,
and a lot of PKs go one way or the other, but
oh yeah,
glad to see you're down the middle.
Well, yeah, exactly. I don't want to be too perfect, but I also don't want to be too evil either. So I try my best. But yeah, no.
Did you ever
good.
get into any, like, I don't know, shenanigans, like with your dad, like being? I feel like, I don't know, just the way like church services are, it's like easy to like do something. It's got to be probably tempting, like week after week, like to not do something like that the whole congregation is gonna see or like laugh at.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Did you ever, or did you like really like?
No, I mean, there were times, like gosh, I mean, there were some times, like, you know, when my dad's, like, let's say his mic battery dies or something, and I have to run up there with a new mic for him, and so I'll kind of just like hand it to him, and I'll just like give like the people a look, like in the congregation, like I don't know, like I'll just be like, you know, I'll just like throw my hands up, or like or just like roll my eyes or something, and you know, like people would laugh about it and stuff, and I would hear about it later, of course, and you know, there were times where like somebody would be up, and I'd be like on the drums, and somebody would come up and they would say something funny, and I'd do like a rim shot. I'd be like, you know, like on the drums or something, and like I wasn't supposed to do that, but like, you know, people enjoyed it, or at least they pretended to, and you know, so there was stuff like that, you know, just little things. I mean, there were times when we would go over to the church like late at night, and you know, like that sounds like it's gonna go in a weird direction, but it's not. And
just vandalize everything.
Exactly, yeah. I just stole everything from, you know, all the sound equipment, sold it on the black market, made tons of money. Like, oh man, yeah. But no, but we would go over there, and like sometimes we just like, I'd have like a football or something. We just like play football like in the sanctuary, and like I'm sure that I would have gotten like. I'm sure that I would have gotten in so much trouble with certain people if they had known, and so I apologize to all of you people at that church that I will remain nameless. So yeah, but you know, we get to do some stuff like that, you know, just go over and just have fun. And like, we lived right on the property of the church. Like, we lived in a church-owned parsonage. There was this big field. I'm giving a lot away right now. Anybody who knows this is going to realize what I'm talking about.
Churches with big fields.
Yeah,
the
exactly. Address is it was right in the heart of.
So we had this like really nice field like separating the church, so we could go out there like whenever we wanted to. But it was like right in between. It does, but like it was like right in between our house and the church, and so we could go out there like during the week or whenever, and we could just play, you know, take a football, take a baseball, whatever. We could go and like play sports and stuff out there. So we got to do a lot of fun stuff like that. That, you know, most people weren't able to do. Like, you might be able to do stuff like that, you know, after church or like after youth group or something, but like we could go out there anytime we want, like any day. And like, I'd go over sometimes, and I'd like, you know, turn on the lighting and stuff in the church, and like I'd set it up, and I'd mess around a little bit too, you know, like I'll play some jams, you know, get it going, play some bops in the church, in the sanctuary, and like have my lights going, have a little dance party in the sanctuary, you know, just basically. Exactly. Oh yeah, totally alone.
Like, we were really bored.
I'm just dancing, and yeah. No, I was really bored sometimes. I would do that.
I'd love to drive by and just see in the windows. You're just in there dancing.
Exactly. Yes. Oh yeah, for sure. No, it was a blast. It was a great time. You know, but yeah. So I had fun little experiences like that. And you know, that's good. And just messing with people occasionally, but you know, not too much. I didn't want to get anyone fired, that's for sure. But you have fun. You learn how to have fun when you're in that position. I don't think
in our youth group or in our church, I was kind of on the goody. I wasn't a PK. I'm not a PK, but I was definitely like more on the goody two shoes side. Yes. Okay, thanks, John.
Yep, amen.
Hey, for the most part, low key, so was I. I didn't really do too much.
That's true.
Yeah,
especially when I first met you,
like we definitely have some stories, but probably not like the craziest like church stories ever. But most of them were probably from youth group.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's where it all goes down. Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, that's just the cesspool of craziness. Listen, I heard this story, and if you guys have, do you guys have any stories? I want to say this to last. Do you guys have any other stories you want to bring up?
Nope.
Wow, we really came prepared this week, guys.
I'm not at liberty to share anything more.
Oh my god. So this is a story that I heard. This is very I wasn't involved with this, but it's something that I heard over the summer, And there was this guy who was telling a story about a youth pastor that he knew of, or somehow knew somebody involved with this situation, where they went on a mission trip. Okay, they went to like, I don't know, some like country where like you couldn't really drink the water. I don't know where it was, and it was something like the food was like, it was like messing up their stomachs quite a bit, all that kind of stuff. But there's also like areas where they were really far out in the middle of nowhere, right? And so they found themselves one day out in the middle of nowhere, and it was like a very, very long walk to the bathrooms. And so the youth pastor, his stomach was not feeling the best, when you're sometimes when you're over in other countries, and right, so he's like, man, I got to get to the bathroom like immediately. So he's walking like really fast, and then he starts like running, and he's sweating, like he's like, I need to get there immediately. Peter, you're gonna hate this story, but it's just so crazy. And so he gets to the bathrooms, and he's dying, right? So he rips open the door, immediately turns around, and just goes to the bathroom. As soon as he opens the door, and there was one of his students in the stall.
No.
It was occupied. It was occupied.
We went all over his student? Hold on.
Yes. Yeah, no,
that's a lawsuit waiting to happen, bro.
No, dude, and just went to the bathroom, and
so
the
he wasn't. No, never mind.
And so he just immediately opened the door and just turned around, and the student then immediately said, "I want to go home," and they bought her a plane ticket and sent her home.
That's amazing.
That was probably the craziest story I've ever heard coming out of a church.
Wait, hold on. This was a girl, though? The student was female? Yes. And the youth pastor was male? Oh, that makes it so much worse.
No. This is somebody that I somewhat know. They were the ones that knew this story. So,
okay.
Yeah. Heard it through the grapevine.
That's awful.
It was that.
That's insane, man.
Fortunately, we don't have any other stories like that.
That is ridiculous.
Never heard one quite like that.
I want to go
guys,
home. Wow. That's so funny. The student's just sitting there. I can just see it in my mind.
I don't know how you. I don't know how you recover from that one. But.
No, you don't, man. That's like an OSHA violation. That's like a health department violation. That is so many legal violations in one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I think it's time to say thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to all the people that endured that video we made in high school. I had to sit through our communist fantasy. And I'd also like to say thank you. You know what? That's good.
That phrase, communist fantasy.
That was the best thing ever. Oh my gosh.
That's all I got for thank yous. I'm gonna end on a strong note.
I'd like to thank our youth pastor for dealing with us through our ups and downs, as well as the other pastors in our lives. And I would like to thank that little boy dancing in a church by himself right now. You have a friend here on the Peel.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Well, I would like to thank churches who had to put up with me as a youngin' growing up in these churches and all my shenanigans. I would like to thank my father for also putting up with me doing ridiculous things in his churches and thankfully not getting him fired. Yeah, and thank you to that girl that endured a little shower there, an unexpected shower.
I hate that.
It's so terrible. Thank you for listening to Peel. We'll see you next week.